Hey everybody, I am on for the midweek message reveal Wednesday, April 16th. Okay, so welcome to the energy this week. How are you faring? Um, After the full moon in Libra, and now we have, today we have Mercury is conjunct Neptune in Aries. Now, Neptune has not been in Aries since the early 1870s or something like that. And we have never experienced transits with energy around us. So this is an interesting sort of energy to be in. And now that Mercury has moved out of retrograde and is in its shadow period, we are experiencing communication in a different way. It's almost like we're getting the pieces of the story that we were missing before. The clarity is coming on board. There's more flow. There's a desire for you to kind of follow the intuitive hits and nudges. There's almost a breadcrumbing effect of information that's starting to present itself now, and you're getting intuitive hits. Follow those nudges, and that nudge is asking for action. So there's a desire for movement, but you don't necessarily know how to move yet, and that's okay. That energy is what we're kind of percolating in. And as we move from the sun in Aries to the sun in Taurus soon near the end of the month, we're going to be grounding this plan into place where now it's still kind of seeds. It's still something that it's starting to gain legs, but it hasn't touched down yet. And that's something that will be coming. So if that energy is made a little clearer by how I explained it, that's the vibe. Now, also we have G1, 2, 3, and 4 class solar flares happening yesterday, today, and I believe tomorrow. And we're just kind of in this pressure cooker of cosmic solar energy that our bodies are trying to make sense of. And that can present as a lot of tiredness. That can present as feeling disturbed in a sense of not being able to get into your rhythms. Maybe a lot of vertigo to a degree, kind of topsy-turvy, not able to kind of keep your dropsy sort of stuff. Like, I know I haven't been able to stop dropping things in quite a minute. That's been a situation for me too. So there's a equilibrium sort of thing that's going on. All of it is par for the course, and to say that we are as a collective kind of enmeshed in each other's energy is an understatement. We are feeling things that we don't necessarily know how to process, and we add energy of a transit from a planet that we haven't experienced in this flavor, makes things pretty interesting. So that's where that confusion's coming from. All right, so I'm going to jump into the readings this week. As always, would love to work with you, so please reach out for a reading with me. If you'd like more information on some other things that I offer, I would love to talk to you. Get creative. Let me know what you're working on, what you're looking for. Even if you're just looking for someone to kind of guide you through processes or help you with certain areas that you're looking to open up on, or some support. I mean, that's literally my wheelhouse. All right, so let me know. All right, so if you chose one, right in a beam of sunlight. There she goes. Speaking of solar energy. There we go. Connecting with your energy one. I'm actually kind of drawn to. I'm very aware of my voice. I'm very aware of my mouth. It's almost I have a very I'm very much concentrated on what's going on here, and it's very much focused on feeling like I need to articulate something in a very special way, or I need to say it the right way, or I'm concerned about saying it the right way. It seems like there is something that is wanting to be communicated. This is interesting because I believe that this also occurred last week with, I believe, one or two. And this communication is something that is important to both parties. So first off, any sort of hesitation that you're having about having this conversation or wondering if it's going to be well received, it will be well received because the other party is also looking for that communication to occur. whether that is something that comes to a point of closure, whether it's something that comes to a point of communication and collaboration to where it can be talked through and it can be remedied, or it's something where it is amicably cut off and two people go different ways. I know that sounds final. It's more situational for some, and for others it is relationship, as far as your relationship with this other person. And for some, that's a professional thing. For some, it's a friend thing. For some, it's a romantic thing. And for some, it's just a nuanced situationship of people that you're used to having in your circle. And as you've noticed, these people are starting to drop away or starting to flutter. And what I mean by flutter is it's almost, they're people who have been on the periphery that have always been around. Oh, itty, itty. And these people on the periphery are, it's almost like they're starting to act up a little bit or somehow make themselves more seen, more conspicuous, and you're starting to notice them. It's almost as if these are people that you haven't necessarily paid attention to, and they will either stay or fall away. It's almost like you're looking to cast off a whole slew of hangers on, and it's not because there's anything wrong with them or anything bad that they've done outright. It's more an energetic thing. It's just we're kind of shifting, and you're moving into a space where these people can come along with you. And if they want to, they actually have to kind of participate more in order to get to that level. You are more difficult to have access to. You are more discerning about who gets to have access to your energy, and that has proven to be something that is part of your self-care. And the message is to remind you of that, because you're wavering a little bit, and that is where this discomfort is coming from. Lean back into the confidence that you have, knowing that you know what's right for you. You know what you're willing to put up with. You understand that when you draw a line, that line is to be respected, and that also means that it needs to be respected by you, because you hold a bond with yourself in holding that line. So lean back on you a little bit more and see this in a different way. Understand that those people who are fluttering and flickering at the edges are wanting attention, and it's up to you whether or not you want to give it and how much. And it doesn't have anything to do with your worth or theirs. All right, moving on to 2. I'm gonna get blasted here. Ooh. Oh, she's so beautiful. Okay. Group 2, there seems to be a desire for travel, and this desire for travel is kind of connected to a wanting for escape, and it's in a different way. It's not necessarily I've been working so much, I'm so stressed out. I mean, that's just life in a lot of ways, and unfortunately, I hate that that's a default where we just have to agree that that's how things go. And I think you're butting up against the realization that it doesn't have to be like that, and that you can change it. And you're starting to recognize that other people have different ways of living, and the ways that they're living is not how you would, or it wouldn't be your first choice. And some of the ways that these people are living are intriguing to you, but you don't know if it's something that you could go all in on. And the reason why things like this are interesting to you at this time is because you are in an exploratory stage, and you're kind of being intrigued and engaged and kind of tapped to be interested in things along these lines, in order to get you kind of playing around with the idea of the curiosity of moving into something a little different. There's a lot of Sagittarian energy with this group in 2. There's a desire to really want to expand and have freedom and have free roaming is the word that's coming through. Roam. That there's a desire for having more space as well, and that is not just in a literal sense, it's in a figurative way. Space from the routine structures that you previously have been under for a chunk of time. those are no longer in play. The energy of it is clearing out, and that's what you're feeling. So allow for that space to come through and start to daydream a little bit. Now you're in a stage where, okay, lean into it. Do something with the energy of wanting to travel, of wanting to be free and escape and go do something different. What does that look like? Do you have preferences around what that could look like? Do you have people who are doing something similar that's intriguing and you want more information? It can be as simple as having a little thought about maybe looking up some research on a couple things for 15 minutes and seeing how you feel afterwards. Explore a little bit. Things have gotten really rigid for you. Things have gotten really constrained. And you need to offset some of this energy. Otherwise, you kind of tend to turn it on yourself. And we don't need any more reasons for us to feel shitty. So, especially that. So please don't do that to yourself anymore. I know it's easier said than done. Some of it is just limiting beliefs and things that we get comfortable hearing because it's just the space that has been filled with that phrase. It's up to us to flip the script, literally. And I know you can. So allow yourself the freedom. You're the only one who's kind of holding back from it. And open your mind a little bit. Let this time period of clarity and expansion that you're truly feeling, lean in, like release your grip on some of this. Because you're not going to know if you really enjoy it if you don't let yourself relax. Okay? I feel you though. I have a hard time relaxing. All right. Moving on to 3, if you chose 3. Ooh, the Charo White. There we go. She's a pretty one. All right. Connecting with your energy 3. I'm actually sort of feeling a pulsing, and it's sort of like a fullness in my left ear. And the left side of the body is the feminine energy. The right side is the male energy, being the masculine energy of action, the feminine action of receiving and nurturing. And this fullness is coming through with almost a concern underneath it. Not in a physical sense, but that there's a feeling of not being able to be recognized, to be heard, feeling as if you're wanting to express something that's a little vulnerable, and you're wanting to be seen for that. It's almost like you've been working yourself up to expressing something to someone else, and there's obviously vulnerability there. There's some tenderness as well. And that feeling of not being sure if being vulnerable is going to turn out like you are hoping, or if it's going to be more in the vein of a lesson, right? And that's always a weird sort of wobble feeling. And leaning into your energy and seeing where this actually goes. The advice is to follow your gut through this. So literally feeling into the belly. So consider the solar plexus right above, like a fist. If you were to put a fist above your belly button, that section right there. When things are not feeling right, you will physically feel that in the belly. You also get a ping as well, and it's something that kind of gets like in the back, like in your gleekers for some of you. It's almost like either a watering of the mouth or a dryness of the mouth. It's different for different people, but it's in this general area. And there's almost a feeling of being out of time when you're receiving information. So just know that through all of this, you are already sort of set up and experiencing a level of intuition about those you're interacting with, and whether or not they are of your people and are of the same vibe as you and are looking to be those supportive people instead of those that are takers. You can trust yourself a bit more. But what you're experiencing right now are many sort of opportunities in which the universe is giving you to test these things, to see if you're ready to go all in, to see if you're ready to push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, to see if you're ready to make a different choice, to see if you're ready to react in a way that is different than what is expected, and maybe something that's healthier for you overall. So the energy of this is congratulations and kudos for pushing yourself to this. Keep going, and don't see this as something that's going to fail or a cycle that isn't going to complete. You just are having an opportunity to practice. It's a pop quiz that's a softball underhanded pitch that you can knock out of the park if you stop worrying about the fact that it is, in a sense, a little bit of a test. Just know that you are successful regardless, and in all ways, and all of it is learning, and all of it is good stuff. Okay? All right. So those are the messages this week. Would love to hear how they land for you. So please leave me some feedback here. I would love that. And would love to work with you. As I've said before, please check out my website. Please reach out to me. Let me know what it is that you're interested in working on. I have some things that I'm going to be bringing out here soon that you'll be able to take a look at, and I'm excited to share that with you. So stay tuned. Please make sure you're liked and subscribed. And thank you so much for sharing and for client referrals and all of that great stuff. I love the work that I do, and I love that I do it with you. So have a wonderful day. Peace out, everybody.